this might have been like going back to '06 or something. Didn't a guy try to get on stage or something, attack Bobby Mack? And
I think it was at the All-Star. No, I think it was at the All-Star game, and Bobby Mack gave the guy a forearm shiver, and he went off the stage or something.
I thought it was in Carolina in the finals, but it was. And Bobby Mack, I don't think was mic'd. It might have been in the back hall, but he you're right, forearm shivered the guy right off of the stage.
That's one thing about Bobby Mack. I've done a lot of on-site sit-downs, games, World Juniors. He'll sign autographs, hello, pics, selfies. The moment you interrupt and be ignorant when we're trying to work, he doesn't like that at all.
Yeah, that seems pretty reasonable for anyone to have that standard.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But when you cross that line, he's like, hey, man, get out of here. Just stop it. That's enough.
It is awkward. It's one thing if someone's been boozing, then you understand, their clock isn't working properly, and it's also more aggravating because you can't really get to the guy. You can't reason with the guy.
Right.
But we've had these experiences where, you're broadcasting in public and someone will just start talking to you. Like you're on the air doing the show and someone's over here.
The Canadian Open a couple years ago, there was drunk guy. Remember the guy that
that guy was boiled. That was a different scene because he was trying to get in, and then that would have been an awkward situation. I'm talking sober, hey, Doug, hey, who do you think's going to win the tournament? It's like, I can't talk to you right now. We have the headsets on. We're live.
Yeah.
That one is those ones are weird.
Is insano.
Yeah.
If you have any brains at all, if someone has a headpiece on like this and has hand gestures and it clearly looks like they're on air talking, and you're firing out, "Hey, dogs."
Yeah.
What do you? No one's going to turn around in the middle of a television show and be like, "Hey, pal, how are you?"
It's insanity. It's insanity.
It is. It's a complete lack of awareness. Yet I think some people freeze. I think it's one of those things you don't expect to run into someone or whatever. But this one is particularly crazy. For whatever reason, this guy hates the play-by-play guy. And maybe that's it. He's just a big Abbotsford fan, and he doesn't think this guy calls a good game. I don't know what the backstory is. But that is the concern, is that, generally speaking, you run into people, and everyone's very nice, cordial. They just want to talk about whatever. Hey, what do you think of the Leafs? What do you think of the game tonight?
It's something about getting your attention. The one guy at the golf tournaments would be like, "Hey, O-Dog, and it's 5 O-Dogs, and then you look and it's like, "It's Jimmy from the golf course." And then you're like, "Hey."
Hey, Jimmy.
Yeah, I know. It's like, "Hey, Jimmy, how are you?"
Yeah,
it's
Jimmy, what's happening, man?
They had to yell your name 10 times to say, "It's Jimmy from the golf course." And then you look down, you're like, "I guess, hi, Jimmy." What?
Yeah.
You're not coming up here.
Jimmy. We're going to see Jimmy next week.
We are going to get a few Jimmys from the golf course next week, for sure.
I always love it.
It happens all the time. I think I told you my first ever game as a Calgary Flame in '01 or something. I was backing up, and I'm literally sitting there. It's my first NHL game with the Calgary Flames, and a guy is banging on the glass to my left in a fur coat, and it's a guy from my grade 7 class. I remember him. I remember his name. I don't want to say his name. His name was Doug.
Okay.
And he was screaming at me, banging on the glass and saying, "Hey, it's Doug." And I'm like, "Hey," and he's yelling, "Call me. And I'm like, "I don't have your number." And that was in grade 7. I'm 30 years old at the time or whatever.
And it's the middle of a hockey game.
And it's the middle of the game. And Scott Nickel skates by and goes, "Hey, get your agent out of here. We're trying to play hockey." And I was like, oh, my God. I was so embarrassed.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man.
And I didn't know what to do. But it just, what are you supposed to do? He's behind the glass. It's not like we can have a full conversation. And it was weird. Greg Gilbert was our coach. That's how long it goes back. Craig was our GM. So that was, I think, '01. And a guy from my junior high is yelling at me.
You guys would have a lot of those, I'm sure, throughout your playing career. And you were talking about in junior, your brother's buddies yelling at you when you're playing.
Over the glass.
I had
my first OHL game, first overall draft pick, and my oldest brother's drunk buddies that were all living in Waterloo area hang their heads over the glass, and they were just yelling about beers after the game and stuff, and I'm like, my coach already must hate my guts. I'm
Right.
like, how could you have the audacity to do that?
It is obscene behavior.
Oh,
now, at least like you were the
crazy.
first overall pick, superstar, so the coach was probably laughing.
Yeah.
But I recall, and this wasn't bad. It was innocent in nature. But my grandfather lived in Flint, like just outside of Flint, Michigan, my whole life.
Yeah.
So when I went to play against Plymouth, he's an American, doesn't know hockey, didn't know sports. So I didn't see him before the game, of course. Left tickets or whatever, and I'm in warm up. He's massive guy, 6'5", 6'6", over the boards, waving at me.
Oh,
calling me over, and I got my head down. I'm doing laps like I'm trying to warm up for the game. I can see him in my peripheral, and I'm like, I can't go over to this guy. He's calling me over, like waving me. Hey, wait, he doesn't know. He didn't know any better. Like he should have known better, I guess.
Dude, I played in London against the Knights one time, and the door opens, and it's my Uncle Norm in London, and he's got a giant bushel of apples for me. And I
love
dude,
it.
my uncle was awesome.
Oh, the best.
But I was
totally
like,
innocent, but it's
I'm
still
totally
like, what do you-
innocent. But I'm like, you cannot wheel into this locker room right
Yeah.
now with a bushel of apples.
Yeah.
No, I
Because
remember
it's not
calling my dad and be like, Dad, you're not going to believe what happened. Because he wasn't at the game. I'm like, he was over the boards and
Yeah.
6 foot set like a
Oh,
giant.
just a monster
a
hanging over the
monster.
board.
Yeah.
And
The best, you guys know the
waving.
story up in the Sioux where they knock on the door and they're like, "Oh, dog, your uncle's here." And I'm like, I do not have an uncle in the Sioux.
Yeah.
They open the door and this guy's pissed himself drunk and he falls down face first. And I'm like, get this guy out of here. He's
Get
not
him
my
out
uncle.
of here.
Yeah,
Who
he
is
was
that guy?
Oh my God, the guy was so wasted. And I said, "That's not my uncle, but
Yeah.
thanks a lot. Don't you do any kind of security detail around here?"
And his last name probably was O'Neill, and he just figured, I'm going for it, man.
Yeah.
He just said, "I'm going in there."
Yeah, I'm doing it. Gary O'Neill from Sault Ste. Marie. I'm going in, and I'm going to give it a shot. And maybe it's true. Maybe there is some sort of a connection somehow. Oh, man.
Bushel
now-
of apples.
Yeah, the
That's-
bushel. That's the best.
And
so
he was so honest. He
necessary.
told his wife
Yeah.
before he left, I'm going to take them to Jeff.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
Exactly.
take
young
I
guy.
brought him on the bus. We ate him on the bus, but it was like I think we lost or something, and it was like he can't bring the apples in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bushel. That's exactly what he was thinking. Oh, he's a young kid. He's living away from home.
Yeah,
he loves
this guy
these
eats
apples.
These apples.
Yeah, he used to eat them all the time back in the day. I got to find a way to get him these apples. Anyway, all right, so we got Game 4 tonight. Oilers Stars. Is this a must? Do you think this is a must-win for Dallas?
Absolutely, man.
I do.
Kind of feels
I
like
also-
it. doesn't it?
1-1 period.
Yeah, I also want to ask, we won't see it, will we? If I was playing for Edmonton, do you think Corey Perry would be chopping that Hintz on the top of the laces?
Ooh,
Like-
that's the thing. This is one of those times where the injury, you can't hide it. Everyone knows what he's dealing with, but you'd like to actually hide this one.
Yeah, because he's going to have probably one of those plastic guards on it. But if you could take a piece of him off a draw or in front of the net or whatever, would you not, maybe I'm...
Oh, Jamie, do you remember back in the day
Yeah.
where if you dropped your glove and you wanted to be a hero and play the shift, someone would chop your fingers right off?
Exactly.
It was mandatory. If you dropped your glove, it didn't matter if Wayne Gretzky was on a breakaway. You're picking your glove up and you're putting it on.
Yeah.
Because somebody would chop your hand right off. But with all the cameras and all the spotlight and how greasy that would be, I don't know if somebody wants to be doing that.
I mean,
I mean, somebody might, but they're going to have a whole bunch of questions if somebody... it would be a Corey Perry move to go up and just absolutely chop him on the foot and act like nothing happened.
it's
Or he
Corey
didn't know
Perry
what he
or
was
Vander
doing.
Kane. It's one of those guys that goes, or it's Darnell Nurse again, and goes, I'm gonna you, because people lost in all of that is Hintz cross-checked Nurse first. So he was actually they were in a battle in front of the net. So Nurse didn't like that, chops him on the feet. But if I'm in a battle and Hintz is a top tier player, that's his left foot. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure, man.
20 years ago, that left foot would have to be wrapped in a cast to play. Tonight, I don't know if he might have the shot protectors on it, but don't you think he would be fair game?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's he got 2 minutes for that.
Yes.
He didn't even get a 5-minute penalty. So, this is one where I could see goalies giving him a whack. If he's in the crease and Skinner can get him, I could see him getting them.
I mean, Joe from the Bridge has put in the group chat, which is a good point. The Kings a couple years ago were going after Draisaitl's ankle when they knew he had the high ankle sprain.
Yeah, and that's even tougher because I don't think it's as delicate a high ankle sprain.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like to be tapped, like it would hurt, but like if you have a broken bone and someone touches that, it's excruciatingly painful.
Man.
Yeah.
Like excruciatingly painful. Where a sprain, I think, is different in terms of like, yeah, you're trying to make them uncomfortable, but to hack at a foot that's broken, if you get it, that guy is going to be in so much pain.
Well,
like,
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if guys are wired that way, but that's something that I've got my eyes on tonight.
It would be so greasy. Like, it would be actually pretty easy to do in a scrum or something. You just absolutely chop down his foot. But I don't know if anybody. You would think that somebody would be interested in doing that, but it's pretty greasy, and I don't know if somebody would do it.
And furthermore, if you're going to use the old school analogy, you're right. But the other old school analogy will be someone on Dallas saying, I'm going to sucker punch McDavid if you touch Hintz.
Yeah, you're right.
So you can touch him if you want, but that means 97's free game, and I'm going to kill him tonight.
Right.
Yeah.
And,
well, that would be easy for Jamie Benn to say right to their bench right before puck drop. You guys want to go near Hintz's foot? I'm going to grab Connor McDavid and dummy his ass. So what do you want to do? You want to party? Let's party.
You make up your mind. We can go play, and whatever happens, happens. But if you intentionally go after Hintz in the foot, go for it. But McDavid, see what's coming.
Yeah,
you know that's the tit for tat.
It is. I mean, but Edmonton, that one thing they do have, they've got some that Frederick, that Kane. They've got some guys who can handle themselves
too. Man.
Like that's the one thing. I'll tell.